like evening news. Our top story tonight is about a family in Enterprise and their quest to learn more about their ancestors. Reporter Oliver Chicken Studmuffin has our story.
Thanks, Reed. I'm standing in beautiful Pine Valley. The pioneers moved here because of all the tall trees. Hi there, young man. What brings you to Pine Valley?
Well, I came here today to learn about my great-great-great-grandfather, Robert Lloyd. He lived in Pine Valley for the last about 20 years of his life, where he served most of that time as a justice of the peace. In fact, the church building where he attended church is still standing over there, and they still use it for church. We're standing in the Pine Valley Cemetery. We're standing right next to his grave, right here, where it says Robert Lloyd was born on July 17, 1822, and he died on November 29, 1892. So he lived 70 years. In fact, they have an updated headstone right below us, right here.
How are you related?
Well, Robert Lloyd was the father of Amelia Lloyd Cope, who was the mother of James Austin Cope, who was the father of James Austin Cope Jr., who was the father of John Cope, who was my dad.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Tell me that again.
Okay, Robert Lloyd was the father of Amelia Lloyd Cope, who was the mother of James Austin Cope, who was the father of James Austin Cope Jr., who was the father of John Cope, who is my father.
Why, thank you, young man.
Do your children ever have bad days? Do you ever feel like no matter what you do, they just can't seem to cheer up? Or your little ones ever needy, whiny, or just plain grouchy? Well, say goodbye to sadness, because we've got the cure for your baby's blues. Don't give them a licking, give them a chicken. It is universally accepted that all children love chickens. So, don't waste a moment. Order your packaged chicken today, and for a limited time, if you order in the next 23 minutes, we'll send you a second chicken absolutely free. What are you waiting for? Don't give them a licking, give them a chicken. Welcome to the game show, Do You Know Your Ancestors? A game show where you have a chance to answer questions about your ancestors for a chance to win $1,000. Now, welcome our hostess, Peggy Sue Huckenbottom!
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to talk about our ancestors tonight, but first things first, we need to get a contestant on down here. So I'm going to introduce you to Roger Cope, 5 years old from Enterprise, Utah. Roger Cope, come on down. Well, welcome, Roger. Are you ready to play Do You Know Your Ancestor?
Yeah.
Alrighty then, let's get started now, Roger. I'm going to ask you some questions and you just answer them as best as you can, alright?
Okay.
Alright, sugar, here we go. What ancestor joined the church after recovering from yellow fever, thanks to a healing blessing given to him by some Mormon missionaries that happened to be passing by?
Robert Lloyd.
That is correct. We have a winner. That's awesome. All right, let's see how you do with number 2, shall we? Because they're going to get harder and harder. All right, Roger, what ancestor's family would have nothing to do with him after he joined the Mormon church at the age of 17?
Robert Lloyd.
Well, 2 for 2, Raj. That's not bad. Let's see how you do on question number 3. Roger, which of your ancestors met his wife, Eliza Adeline, on a farm that is now the city of Fort Worth, Texas?
Robert Lloyd.
That's correct. That is amazing. Now, Roger, here's another question. I want you to answer it for me. It says, can you tell me what ancestor traveled to the Salt Lake Valley and eventually headed south to Dixie after receiving a call from Brigham Young?
Robert Lloyd.
Very nice. Good work, Sonny. Now, let's see how you do with this one. Roger, what ancestor nearly died when his home in Washington, Utah caved in on him and two of his children that he happened to be holding at the time?
Robert Lloyd.
So far, so good. All right, Roger. What ancestor fought in the Black Hawk Indian War but refused to be part of the Mountain Meadow Massacre?
Robert Lloyd.
That is correct. Now here's a tricky one. Let's see if you can get this one. Roger, what ancestor planted the first fruit trees? You better look at the camera, Sonny. Smile at your parents, all right? Back home in Enterprise, Utah, I bet you have beautiful parents, don't you, son? Yes, all right. All right, what ancestor planted the first fruit trees in Pine Valley, Utah?
Robert Lloyd.
We have it. That is correct. Oh my goodness, we have never come this close to winning the $1,000. Let's see how you do this time, Sonny. The last question for the grand prize, and this is the last question for $1,000. Here it is. What ancestor and father of 12 children died November 29th, 1892 at the age of 70?
Mickey Mouse.
No, I'm sorry. It was not Mickey Mouse. The answer to that question was, it's actually Robert Lloyd, if you can believe it. Well, thank you anyway. We'll see y'all next week on Do You Know Your Ancestor? Thanks so much, Roger. Nice work.
Let's see what's happening in the weather. What does it look like out there, Ollie? Oh, sorry about that. Today's going to be partly cloudy, so be sure to go outside and spell the begonias. Back to you, Reed.
Welcome to Uncle Sal's Sing-Along. You folks at home join in on the chorus. Born in Tennessee in 1822, had his parents die when he was 1 + 2. Joined the church at 17 after a healing blessing. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. Everybody! What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a great, great guy. After being in the church, he found that his family didn't want him to be around. He was lost and alone, got a job setting bones. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. 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 What a great, great guy. Went to Texas to ranch and find a pretty girl. Joined the Saints and left for Utah's desert pearl. Lived in Sandy for 2 years, then Brigham said, go south, my dears. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. 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 What a great, great guy. The journey south was full of trial and toil. Lost their cattle before they hit the southern soil. Rob was asked, would you be in our meadow massacre? No, no way, said Robert Lloyd. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a guy, our Robert Lloyd. What a great, great guy.